Hi guys, welcome to Blood Vibrations.
Hello.
Today you're listening to Tuning In and we're joined with Maisi.
Hello.
I also kind of want to confess actually, before we started recording we're like confessing everything.
Yeah.
We call you Maisi.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
had to train ourselves over the past week to not call you Maisi.
Oh, no, I'm fine with Maisi.
It's
I love that.
Like it's insulting or anything. It's just like we just do
We
it.
know a lot of Maisis, so for like, I don't know how, we should have checked how long we've been following you. But for as long as we've been following you, we've always gone like Maisi. To the point where like in our initial notes of like tuning in guests, you were on there, I think is Maisi.
Well, no, I love that. I'm so into that. Like I feel like it does differentiate because there's a few Maisis around.
Yeah. And like it just makes sense in our head. But as I introduced you, I was like, don't say Maisi. And then the intrusive thoughts were like, tell her that you call her Maisi.
Yeah, nice.
And that's just made me think, what am I on Instagram?
You're Elizabeth.
That's so weird.
God,
I wonder
that.
if anyone out there thinks of me as like Elizabeth.
I do.
Oh my gosh.
Confession again, I updated the podcast bio the other day and I added the wrong Elizabeth.
Oh.
And I like, you know, when you're just like, oh, like what does the bio look like as a different person? I clicked it and it was just someone else. And I was like, oh,
That is
right,
so
no,
funny.
That's not Liz.
But I'll just let myself.
So that isn't as catchy. But for you, it's really catchy.
Okay, nice, thanks.
And yeah, as you kind of weird way to say it, but yeah, we've obviously been following you for a while, and you were one of our like initial guests that we wanted to be on Tuning In. So it's so special that you could come in.
Oh my God, I've been following you guys for ages. Like, I love what you do. You just seem so nice. It's so nice to actually like meet you. And, like,
I know, it's weird. It really feels like we know each
other.
other.
We should look after like how long we've. Because I feel like I followed you guys for ages.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's weird as well. There's like a whole other layer to it because also what actually initially put this specific recording day in motion was Abby Ozard shouting out Loud London, which is just like, we didn't need a more layered backstory until that happened. And the moment Abby Ozard said it, I was like, yes. I was like, I can make a reel out of this and we can connect. I was like, it's perfect. Yeah, but I'm aware that Abby did kind of explain it a bit, but kind of from your expert opinion, for people who don't know Loud London or people who haven't seen the episode, do you want to just give like a brief overview of what it is?
Yeah. I mean, basically, it is like, what we call it is like a collective of like women non-binary artists in London or around London or who can get to London easy, basically. But the way it sort of started was like, we didn't intend for it to like be anything at all. It literally like, me and an artist called Coop de Cat, we just like made friends through TikTok, and then we just like made a group chat of like roughly five of my music friends and 5 of her music friends. We're like, oh, we can all just like chat and be friends. And that literally was just like how it happened. It just like people added people and it kept growing and whatever. And then like when it got to maybe like 50 people in this like group chat, we were like, oh, we should like make it an Instagram account and like maybe like have a party and stuff. And so it was like literally like totally organic. It just like grew randomly, and then we just started just doing like the party things and like networking events, and we just did like some collaborations with people, and it was just like totally just like happened. So now it's just like there's like a group chat on Instagram and a group chat on WhatsApp, and it's just people just join it and we just like chat and give people advice, and we still do like parties and events and stuff, and we started doing like open mics, which are really nice because it's like everyone gets to perform and network and everything, and yeah, it's just like a little like, it's basically the main part of it is like a little community like group chat, and then just like everything else is just a little extra on the side. And yeah, sorry, that's a bit of waffle really, but
really good. And I think it's sparking my memory of, I think this is maybe how we initially may have discovered you as well, because I remember a while ago we were like, this is so cool, like pre-tuning, like it must have been so long ago. And then when we were like, we want to get involved, and like we don't even know how because we're not artists. So I think like, but it is like
we just like love it.
Yeah, I think Loud London was such like a almost like pioneer of like creating that really like positive energy.
Oh, thank you.
And it like it's, I don't know, I think for a lot of artists like who are both in it but also just know of it, and creatives in general do kind of think about it as, I don't know, this big symbol for like women and non-binary artists. I think it's such an important space. So I hope you do get like your flower. Like, we're starting with such like a sweet note, but like I feel
lovely.
like it's nice to continue on from the conversation, but also like for you to like get your like compliments for it, because it's such like a core thing, and I think it's nice to have you on, especially in the first season of this, because it was such like a key part for us as well, in kind of seeing how that community can be fostered. And
thank you.
How many members are there now? Do you know?
There's like, I mean, I tried to like keep track of it by like, basically on Instagram we only follow people who are technically in it. So I think it's on like 140 now.
Wow.
But it's kind of, it's a hard one because like, it's almost like I don't even know like what it actually is. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a thing, and like I think it's kind of like I don't know how to actually define what it is, because it's also like there are people who aren't necessarily in the group chats that still come to all the events, and it's just like a community thing, like, do you know what I mean? I don't even know
when you need it, take what you need from it.
Exactly, and like just like make friends, like and it, I'm glad that like that comes across, that it's just like a positive thing, because when we started it and like stuff started happening organically, like me and Kat didn't actually know like what we wanted it to be, and didn't know, we had no experience of this kind of thing, and we didn't know like what it would end up being, and we just sort of went with the flow, and then just like here we are. So it's just like we had no idea what it was going to be, and often like people from like labels or whatever like ask like, what actually is it? And I'm like, I don't know, I can't actually tell you, like it's whatever you see it is. But so the main thing is we just want it to be a nice community, so I'm glad you think that.
I kind of love the category of projects that are just like, it just is what we want it to be. Like, that's very much like
thing.
I feel like that about the podcast, is that because we have so many series and we have like content creation and things like that, it's like, well, it just is like Bontopia, like that's just what it is.
It's just that is what it is
at the time.
Exactly.
And I have a friend who does like a similar thing with like ceramics and things like that, and she's got like her world, and I really like gravitate towards that, where it's like maybe like things just don't need to be defined as like this is like, I think like a collective suits it, but I agree, it feels like it's more than that, and I think there's something fun about that. And every like episode we ever do, I kind of say that it feels like the creative spheres are almost really like building a space where people can truly make really three-dimensional things that aren't just I am an artist and this is a group of artists. It's multifaceted, and I think that's my favourite part about anything ever. Is that anything goes, and that's the fun bit of being creative. So why force yourself to be like define it?
100%. And if you like define it early, it almost like limits you. Because it's like you said with you guys, you're not just a podcast. You do like so much more stuff, and so you don't want to just say like we're just a podcast, because then it's like you feel like you can't do that stuff. You know, and same like with Loud London, not just like just the parties, there's all the other stuff we want to do. It's like we just exist. We're just things, do you know what I mean? And
because we got asked one time, like, what was it, like, do we see ourselves as, what was it, a journalist or a content creator or something? And we really like were having this back and forth in a room full of people. We were like,
it was like a room full of industry, and we were like, we were the first ones to answer, and we were like, I don't know, like I've never considered myself a journalist, but like I guess I am a journalist.
We do
journalist that's so hard.
I don't know.
Yeah, and we were like, but like we don't really do like, what are they called, the little like short snappy things.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't even think of it.
Yeah,
well, that's how much of journalists we are. And we were like, I don't know, like I guess. And I think in that room we agreed that we were journalists. And then we were like, I
just didn't sit right with it.
There's so much more to it, do you know what I mean? And like, as well, like journalists sometimes get a bit of a bad rep, do you know what I mean? And that's not, you guys are more than that. Like,
and it's like most annoying, and again, just bringing the identity crisis to here, aren't we? We were like, we make content, whatever content that is, but then obviously content creator then has that negative title.
Exactly.
And then the other day we saw like an application for access to something, and they were like content creator access, and we were like, that feels like you're like limiting us. We were like, like I don't like, that feels offensive to me, that I'm like, we're more than like creating content. Like,
totally.
So hard. I think titles and like the way that identity wraps up with titles and boundaries is so like detrimental.
Yeah,
especially
100%.
like, for Loud London as well. Like the whole point is that you're not putting people into boxes.
Yeah.
So to then put yourself and your project in a box,
it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah.
The way we have in our notes described it.
Oh my god, I'd love to hear this.
It's just very simply a symbol of safe space and solidarity. I don't know if you
That's so nice. Yeah, that's so lovely.
So emotional. Like I feel like it's like literally 11 a.m. and I feel so just like.
Oh, this is so nice. Oh, thanks.
What has been your proudest moment as a co-founder?
Oh my gosh, that is a hard question. I think we did a collaboration with Spotify. It was like Loud London times like our generation, their playlist, and that was probably like my favourite thing that we've done, because it like at the time that was probably like the first thing that was like, wow, this is like legit. It's Spotify, and like when they got in touch and wanted to do it, I was like, this is crazy. And we basically did like a pop-up event where there was lots of like things, like there was like I think like candy floss and like what they called like non-permanent tattoos that were like Loud London branded, like that kind of thing. And then it was like an hour of performances, maybe about half an hour from Loud London artists, and it was just like such a nice event, and it just like felt so legit, because before everything it felt like so DIY and relaxed, and this was like, wow, this like feels proper. And the thing about it that I thought was that I was really, really pleased with was that I think that it put a lot of smaller artists on the radar of our generation and of the Spotify editors. You know, I think so a lot of people then got like their first playlisting after who were in Loud London that hadn't before, and I think just like because of like because of the positive effect that had on the Loud London members, I was like, that's my favourite thing. It's like, it's actually like that's genuinely like, you can see that's given back to people, because they're on the radar now. And so I think that was probably like my favourite thing, I think.
I remember that pop up so vividly. Like, I don't think we could attend. I felt like we were out of London or something. But I remember seeing the stories as if I was there, because it was such, I don't know, it feels like such a like spotlight memory, even though we weren't there, because it was such a physical representation of like Loud London, but also emerging artists at the time. Like, RGM was such a big thing.
I know,
like,
totally.
I'm sure it still is. Just saying it in the past tense, but in that moment, it was so nice to see the community that came with that. And I think it's always a really nice moment when you see higher up and big things like Spotify acknowledge it.
Yeah, totally.
It's like a tangible thing. You can see
Yeah.
like the progress.
Yeah, that's what it
like,
was.
Where you started to where you are.
Yeah,
It's like,
100%.
that's Spotify.
I was like, you actually want to do
cool.
something? Like, that's crazy. Yeah.
Did you find that in that moment you were able, this is like getting off topic, but did you find like you were able in the moment to really appreciate that, or was that kind of afterwards you could step back and go, that's my proudest moment?
I think afterwards, because I think on the day I was just like stressed. I was just like, all the organisation and everything, and I was like thinking about like getting content, because I also performed, so I was thinking about performing, and like it was just like a lot
wearing
going
so
on.
many hats.
Exactly. And so I think almost as soon as it ended, I was like, wow, that was sick. But like in the moment, I was like, oh my god, I'm stressed. But yeah, now I look back on it, I'm like, that was like probably one of my favourite things that we've done, I think. Yeah.
I love it when people answer that, because I literally never feel anything in the moment. Every time I ask anything like that and someone says, not until after, I'm like, oh, that makes me feel so much better, because I find it really hard to appreciate things in the moment.
Oh my god, totally.
And I'm trying to like make more of an effort to like stop and breathe and like acknowledge things.
Yeah.
But a lot of creatives, and I don't know if this is like a woman thing, but like a lot of creatives say that in the moment they find it really hard to actually kind of appreciate things.
Well, we've had it with like interviews, I'm sure I've said it on here before, where like we just kind of black out during the time.
Right, got you.
And then it's
yeah,
like, so
yeah.
when you look back after, it's like, gosh, we actually asked
like,
that
that
question.
Was sick.
Like,
yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
but
totally.
at the time, it's like there's so many things like going on in your head. And I will say right now that in my head right now, I'm like, have I put this on slow motion recording? Because I have done it before, but we would know, right?
Yeah.
And you can
and also you can speed it up, it's fine.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just going to be like the world's biggest file for a movie.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
but
fine.
like, that's the sort of thing I'll think of in the moment, and then when I'll watch the episode back, I'm like, oh, that's so nice.
Yeah,
like,
and it's like, why was I even worrying about that at the time? Like, yeah, exactly.
And
I think
all
that must
those
be a
things
woman thing. Like, I think it is like a woman/creative thing. Of like, just in the moment you're so worried and anxious about all the different things, and then you go at the end, you're like, why did I worry about that? Like, that was so great.
It's like the responsibility of it all.
Exactly.
I think also, and this does actually slowly lead into my next question, but I do think it also is a social media thing, and I think like an online world thing is, I think things have to happen so fast, and you have to do the event, and it's in such a short space of time, but you have to cover the event while it's happening and do everything all at once. And I think in a way this is kind of something that we try to fight with the podcast, and let things take time and slowly, and if you need breaks or if you want to talk for an hour or whatever. But I think with the online world, and you kind of have this idea that things need to go out straight away or they're not going to do well, and you know, something needs to be really short and really snappy, and you need to get that moment, and I think that does slowly blend into things like event hosting and just generally like being at a show. And it's weird to see those effects in such like a widespread and slow burning way.
Yeah,
'cause I feel it. Like
Yeah.
I feel like even now, kind of with the stuff that we make, we'll be at a concert and it's like, oh, we have to get that out straight away.
Right, got you.
And you see the like the effects of it in every way. So if you're able to kind of be at an event and be like, I'm actually just gonna like stop for a second, like put the phone down and just take in, like, I've done this.
Totally.
Yeah.
Once you put the like conscious efforts, you're almost fighting the like surge of online creation.
Yeah, totally. And I think, I don't know if you guys have this, but like, I'm sure you do. Like, I think anyone who like has gone into like either being a musician or working in music in some way, it's hard because music was originally just like your hobby or like your favorite thing, and then it becomes like work, and it's hard to kind of remember that there was a time when it wasn't work and it was just you absolutely loved it. Like, I guess it must be like, because you know, you would have loved going to concerts or whatever, and you obviously still do, but then you're thinking about work and stuff as well, and it's hard to like balance the two. And I definitely have that with music of like, I love to use, and I still do love to like write music, but then now it's like I'm thinking, oh, it's going to actually go out, and so it just like changes. And if you had a creative hobby that then becomes your job in some way, I think it's just like hard to balance that, I think.
Yeah, well, we have it like if we're covering a festival or something, there's like specific moments where you're watching it and maybe you've got something on like on your phone or something, you're like, where's the Wi-Fi? It's got to go up now, like it has to, but it's also like,
you're at a festival, like
not, and just enjoy the moment.
Totally,
It's such a like internal war.
We had this 100%. We had this really like awkward interaction with a now ex-friend at a festival where we all got press to go, and we got there and we didn't really get a lot of access, and we already kind of thought that we wouldn't, so we didn't majorly like prepare for much. And as we kind of were saying before, and not in like a big-headed way, but very like humble people, like we're very happy with anything. And we get there and we don't really have access to any guest areas, we can't really do any interviews, like can't really even access the press office, like. And we were stood there and we were like, well, free weekend. We can go like see some artists, we can still get a review. Like, this is going to be really fun. Like, this is great. Like,
pressure off,
free
actually.
tickets.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
And it's probably really bad, and I'm trying to not manifest like unsuccessful festivals, but I'm also like, I love that feeling of like you build up that stress of going to a place because I have to do this and I have to work. And then in that moment, it's like, oh gosh, like we can just go see sets, and I'm not going to have to worry about missing something. And our ex-friend, was like, oh, I wouldn't have come if I knew this was it. Like, I've never done a festival where I'm not pressed. And we were like, what? But like, this is fun. Like, you get to see so many of your favourite artists. Like, this is so fun.
And like Sabrina Carpenter was there, Coldplay and stuff. It was this is free.
And then also, like, the friend didn't live near us. Like, they'd come down for it. We were like, this is fun. Like, we have a whole weekend to hang out and see artists and be chill and like spend, and it's free. And they just like were like, no, if I can't make my content, then like, rah.
That's so difficult.
That was like really hard. I think in that moment I really appreciated being able to like appreciate things for what they are, and not always have to have that mindset of, well, I guess the grind set as we're always calling it. But yeah, it is weird when kind of working online and being in places in person kind of conflict.
100%.
And I guess this does kind of, we're going like all around everywhere, but I guess this does kind of speak about how, I don't know, online creation and I guess comparison culture, and how Loud London is such a big community, as you kind of put it. And it's a community that is so often pinned against each other. And so often like, and I think, I don't want to say that being like, oh, this artist is like this artist is always bad. I think it's really good, but especially when you're all at very similar levels, I think it's a very natural thing for artists to be compared. And what we're kind of interested in is how being, I guess as a member of Loud London, but also as a founder of Loud London, like how that has affected your like approach to comparison and competition, and how you unlearn those habits, because it's something that we still struggle with.
I think it is like a real difficult thing to like try and get past. I think with Loud London, for me, like everyone actually in the group chat is genuinely really lovely. Like there's never been like disagreements or anything, which I think for like a group chat of that many like women non-binary people is like a big thing. And so I think even like people will talk about that, like the comparison thing, and like ask how other people deal with it. And I think because everyone's so open and like genuinely nice, it's really, like helpful for overcoming that issue. And I think everyone still feels it. Like I definitely feel it now and then. Like you see something like, oh, but that's sick. Like I would love to be doing that. But I think for me, the way I've done it personally is try and transform it more towards inspiration than like comparison of like, oh, that's how they've done it. Like, oh, I'm going to try and do something similar. Like it inspiring you how to do it. And yeah, I think that just being so close and actually friendly with so many amazing artists, I think it just kind of gets rid of a lot of the like negative feelings that you may have because you know them and you know that they're lovely people or that they really work hard and you can use it to inspire you. I think honestly, I think just like having a nice community has like changed that, I think. Yeah,
I think we kind of feel a similar way when we look at other people, maybe not journalists because we don't know if that's what we are, but like people that are doing the same sort of thing. Just because someone gets an opportunity doesn't mean that you're never going to get that just because they have it on this year. Like next year you might get like 10 times the amount of opportunities. Yeah, exactly. You might get the same one. You can't really predict any of it, so there's no point in comparing because there's just so many factors that go into why someone gets it. We can all be happy and celebrate each other's successes.
Exactly. I think that is it. Totally. And like being able to be happy for your friends, I think is like such a good thing, but hard. I think it's a hard thing like sometimes, but because everyone like jealousy is like such a natural human emotion, you know, but I guess it's just like the acknowledging it and like learning from it, I suppose, is what I try and do. But I so know how you feel, 100%. I feel like everyone in this industry knows that feeling, you know what I mean?
And Liz, I don't want to paraphrase what you said. You said something really good the other day when we were in the park, and it was something like, oh, I feel so like at peace with where we are. Can you remember what you said? It was something like, I feel so at peace with where we are that if someone got an opportunity that we didn't get, it wouldn't affect me because I know that it will come to me at some point.
Yeah, I think I took more of like a morbid sense. I took it one step further than I needed to because the way I see it is you're gonna die at some point, like we all are. We truly don't know how long we have, so I'm not gonna spend each day being annoyed at someone online for doing something when if I die tomorrow, that was my last hours basically being spent being like bitter.
That is so like, true.
And it's just finding peace with what you're doing, and I think it helps because what we've done the past year is like everything we could have dreamed of for the podcast, but I do think it is like you need to take those steps to be so happy with yourself.
Like go to bed being like content with what you're doing, and that also leads to like I'm really just trying to shake FOMO in all aspects. It
totally.
Just goes back to if someone gets like pressed for a festival or something, like that's fine.
Like, and no worries. You got to always think the thing of like it happened for a reason. Like as stupid as that sounds, like you never know then if you don't get something what you might get instead. Like close to the time, it's all just like fingers crossed everything happens for a reason.
And I bet that really does play into things as an artist. Is that sure, someone could get, like, because the opportunities tend to be a bit more tangible, aren't they? It's really like
a support slot for ex-artists.
Totally,
or like signed, or like just people being interested. And it is kind of like, well, if that person's interested, that could close the door elsewhere. So I bet that really does, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the thing of you just, it all like comes into one. If someone gets an opportunity that you would have wanted, you have to be like, I'm happy for them. I'll look at how they maybe got it, use that as inspiration, and then try and get it for myself in the future. Or like maybe I'll get a best opportunity and everything. It all like kind of like links into one, I think.
Absolutely. And I guess it's maybe from what you're saying as well, it's kind of reworking this comparison, which I've actually never thought of. It's like the thoughts are forming as I'm saying this. Is that the problem isn't comparison, because you can use comparison to be like, this person's done this and this is how they did it. And I think this is something that we're slowly learning to do, is being like, you can say like, I like what you did with this person, I would like to do something similar, and that's not negative comparison, that's like,
no, that's
something cool that I want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think you need to unlearn comparison, it's just reshaping it, and that's 100%. What I guess in a way you and Loud London have done, is that it's kind of like being happy for someone and being like, so that's how this works.
Yeah, the openness of how you got to that.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I love that. That feels so positive. Yeah, no, exactly. Getting rid of something. That's my takeaway today.
You feel very content.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I needed that today.
This next question, you might get something else that that you love as well. Is there a myth about being a young woman in music that you want to destroy?
Oh, that is such a good question. Oh my gosh, let me think about this for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing I would have said is the like comparison thing, but we've already said that. But I think, I guess, if we hadn't said that, I would have said that like, it can be like really, really hostile. I think it can, but actually I think my experience has been that it's like really friendly, and that people are actually really supportive and nice. I think I would say that in terms of being a woman in the music industry, I think things are a lot more accepting than they were. I think I am lucky enough to like have not had like too many like negative experiences that are due to like me being a woman. I think because if you kind of look back, and like I always go back to like when I read Lily Allen's biography like years ago, and like she seems like she had a really negative experience, like as you know, because she is a woman, like a lot of negative things because of that. And I think that from talking to a lot of women in the industry, I think that fingers crossed and touch wood like, is better. I think. So I especially like now where like the women in music are like having such a rise, like Sabrina and Charlie and everything, like it is like the time of like women in music. So I think, because when I was growing up I would think, oh, it seems quite scary, like I've heard so many horror stories and everything, and I think that like the industry as a whole is a bit more accepting and a bit safer and everything. There's always like things that could be improved, but I think on a positive note, I think things are getting better. I think hopefully. Because it's the time of women in music.
Yeah, it's so good to see.
Totally.
Yeah, and I think that is what people are starting to see. Because you even see, even the things that are wrong there are a lot more kind of internalized. But it's like, well, if that's the problem that we're currently facing, you've had to take the levels down to that.
Yeah,
you kind of had to strip away, and I think it's kind of, taken it to its course, and now we can really like hone in on those
exactly
things.
Totally.
I think it's nice to look at it in a positive lens, because otherwise I think you can think, oh, things are always harder for women. But I think it's sometimes important to be like, well, there has been progress, and this is a positive thing to look at. I think it's really important, because otherwise it feels a bit existential.
Exactly. Like even it might be that like things are not better in a lot of ways, but the community is a lot stronger, and like there's a lot more support out there for people, and that like makes it feel better. But I think that it's like it's getting hopefully less scary, like for women artists.
I think it is. The like community aspect, because I actually was just thinking like we often struggle with like industry talks and things like that, and I think it's when we speak to women in the industry and women in like record labels and things like that, that's when we're like, oh, like people are taking it seriously. And it is like, well, actually it's not necessarily that the men are taking it seriously, but it's almost like it's the girls infiltrating everywhere. The same way that, you know, Charlie and Chapel and Sabrina are all infiltrating, like you're just seeing more women in these spaces, so then you're finding your community in more spaces.
Exactly.
And I think that's maybe more it, that rather than, I don't know, it's just more balance.
Yeah, and like more people to like in positions, women in positions to look up to and like be inspired by, like more, and like you said, like women higher up that you can like connect to. And you're like, oh, it feels safe because like there's a woman there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I think it's that.
And we're always like, we sit down and we're like, people never take us seriously because we're really like bubbly, and they're like, but we're like, but that's our job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I don't want to sit in like a suit. Like I don't want to do that. And you've kind of already touched on the difference between doing music as a hobby and then having to kind of maneuver doing it as a job.
Yeah.
But we are kind of interested in this, like how your experience has evolved from writing music as a child, because you did it quite young.
Yeah.
And then pursuing it as a professional path. And if there's any like hard truths or like moments that you remember where you were like, oh, that's a part that I wasn't expecting when I was dreaming about doing this at like 11.
Got you. In terms of like writing the music specifically, or just the industry?
Or like just making music, writing music, just whatever.
I think that's hard. I think like as a whole, I think how much other stuff other than the actual music quality matters, I think. So I think maybe when I first like started writing music, which was when I was like 11, 12, I had in my head, the most important thing is like the quality of the song, like how good the songwriting is and the lyrics. And I was like, you've got to really like think about it, which I think obviously is still important, but I think, you know, obviously with social media and everything, like there's so much more that's also important, and like you might argue is more important, because if you can't do the social media stuff, then no one's going to hear it. So I think it's that of like, in a kind of like, you know, weird way, the actual music is kind of like lower down on the list of like what's the most important in terms of comparing it to marketing and all that kind of thing. Obviously it's still really important, but it's not just about like, can you write a good song? It's all the other stuff as well, I think.
It's like, how much can you market it?
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Be the thing that it deserves to be.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
You could, I don't know why just Adele just comes to my mind as one of like the best songwriters.
Yeah.
She could write the best songs ever, but if no one's like pushing it and promoting it, like that's gonna get like no streams.
No,
where
exactly.
Is it for people to find?
100%. And like when she was like blowing up, like there was she obviously was doing loads, but really that was a more traditional thing of like the label was doing the marketing and all of that, and so she wasn't having to do as much of that because she could focus on the quality of the songwriting. But that just like isn't how it works anymore. So it's the weird thing of that's not the artist's only responsibility and most important thing. It's like they have to do everything, I think, which is maybe that probably, because that I think in our lifetime has changed. Like when we were all younger, like that wasn't the case, but now it is. So I guess that, because it's also like every day and like there's a new realization of like, oh, because it's changing so constantly, there were all in that kind of area, that like topic, there will always be something new and like it will always change.
Well, we even have it with just like uploading TikToks. It's like you learn something new about an update that's just changed the algorithm in a way that like last week didn't apply.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, now I have to change things.
Yeah, and we all have to be like know about technology and all of that stuff, and know about like the internet and all stuff, which you never had to do. Like we have to be experts in like every single thing.
Yeah,
which
and
is
it never
crazy.
really gets like announced. You just find it. Like
exactly.
Someone makes a video about things that you need to know, and it's like, well, if that just didn't come up on my feed, then we'd just be carrying on in the same way.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like such a diva as well, because and I've said this so many times, and at some point I'm going to have to tell this person so that they can say I told you so, but someone once was like, I don't want to go viral, and I was like, you're insane for that. And then we then started having to make more content for the podcast, and then someone said at an event the other day, they were like, and I've been telling everyone this, it's almost like this like nugget of information that I like need to tell everyone, is that they were like, you owe yourself and your project to milk as much content as you can, because you need the most people to receive it, and you kind of need to rework making short form content into that. It's like you owe it to yourself to make all of those TikToks and just kind of rework it as that. And that really like took me out of like a funk, because I was in this moment where, especially like with the podcast, we'd finally like launched a series, and I was like, it's long form, it's deep, it's conversational. And I was like, and then I have to make like 30-second clips. Yeah. And does that not go against what I'm standing for? And it feels really hypocritical.
Yeah.
And then I heard this and I was like, oh my gosh, like I owe it to that project.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I think like artists can take a lot away from that, and I'm not necessarily saying you need this, because I see you all content, so you know, but I think it is kind of reworking that as like, it's not that I have to make social media content that's taking away from my music. It's almost like it's adding to your music.
Yeah,
Whereas
exactly.
I think a lot of times in the past couple of years, people have seen it as like, it's degrading to my music, because that is my craft. I don't want to make the social media. And for a moment, I was on that side.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
also just like giving it a fighting chance to be out in the world, and
exactly.
also for longer. Because in the context of like, say this episode, if it's just uploaded the once and it has that first wave, but then if like a few weeks later you're posting something else about it, it gives it a chance to like have more of a lifespan.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not just one post, and because there's so many examples of things that like go viral later on in their lifetime, and like that is great, because like it can happen with podcasts and TV shows. Like there's TV shows that like are coming back, and like music that was big like 20 years ago and then it goes viral on TikTok. Like it, you know, like social media, one of the positive things about it I think has done that, like meaning that things can just keep going, like have, like you said, like such a long lifespan. Like I think that is a really positive thing about social media.
Well, we were saying about Marina, because the new album just came out.
Yeah.
And we were saying like she had the most random songs go viral, like so long after.
Yeah.
And I think it is like people are discovering or rediscovering songs that necessarily they wouldn't otherwise.
Totally.
Like I don't know how many people, especially if you think about the amount of Gen Z that are on things like TikTok, they might not necessarily have been old enough to listen to those old albums. And now they're hearing these songs and then they're going and revisiting this. And if the social media didn't exist, like those songs wouldn't have been getting spun on the radio again.
Completely.
That would have just been like kind of done there and then.
Well, it's like, I don't want to have to sing it, so I'm hoping this song is just Pretty Little Baby. Is that what it's called? Okay. I think the fact that that's got so big, and then the artist is like joined a TikTok because of it. Even though it came out
crazy.
So many years ago. And the what was the one from Stranger Things?
Kate
Bush.
Kate
was
Bush.
it?
Yeah.
Like the fact that just had like a second like
like
massive, crazy.
Yeah, no, literally. It's great. Like it's so good for like artists that they can just have that and it can go again and again and again. Like it's inspiring. Like,
it's also like, what was it? Was it Ash had a song that what Phineas produced or something? I don't know why I'm just taking words right from his mouth. He said something like
so much paraphrasing today.
The song got released and they thought it was going to be huge, and then it did nothing, and they were a bit like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And then it got picked up because it was on To All the Boys I've Loved Before. And it was, and they thought it was just going to be in like a little throwaway scene, and it was in like one of the biggest scenes of the film, and then it just like catapulted the whole song into like success. So it's like there's no deadline.
It's like unpredictable as well. Like, you don't know what's going to do it, like, and when it's going to happen.
I get such comfort from that. I think again it goes back to what we're saying about kind of like thinking things need to be short and they need to be snappy and it needs to be in the moment.
Yeah.
And it is like leading away from that. And I think I get such comfort in knowing that, and we have had it before with like episodes before, is that you can put an episode out or you can put a song out and you can get like 20 plays or like 100 streams, and then just randomly it will just like something will snap and something will just get pushed. And I think that I get such comfort from that as someone who's like scared of like analytics. I get such comfort in knowing that, like, you know, one day like we've got like reviews of like a concert that happened in like December that still gets used today, and I'm like, I have no idea why.
Exactly.
But like I get such comfort in knowing that like the numbers are never set.
No, it's so random. Like, you literally can't predict it. Like, what's just randomly one day.
Yeah, well, we had it the other day where like I was just uploading things from Primavera, like not that we were even there.
Yeah.
But there was this, I just uploaded one video of Chapel who'd just come on stage, and we just like had it in our hearts it was going to do really well.
Yeah.
And then we like checked back and it was like 47 views. And we were like,
there's something so embarrassing. I think we said a similar thing with Josie Man as well. We were like, there's something so funny about like when you post a TikTok and it gets like 100 views and you're just like, okay.
I wasn't expecting that.
I did a similar thing the day before with Sabrina and it got 100,000 views. And so to get 47, we were a bit like, well, not everyone can be a winner. And then like we woke up the next day and it was like, 12k. And we were like, oh, there we go. There we go. Like, it's fine. No worries.
That's so random.
Is there something that sets your new song, Am I in My Prime, apart from your previously released music?
Oh wow, that's a good question. I think it's definitely different because in the past I've done like a bit of sort of talky singing here and there, but like not very much. But this is the first song I've done where it's like the verses are very talky, which I love. Like, there's so many singers that do that I've always loved, and I've never really like had the confidence to do it, and I always thought, this is just going to sound awkward, but this song I was like, oh, this feels like it really fits. So I think like sonically probably that. And I just like, it's genuinely like probably the song I'm like most proudest of that I've ever made. Like, I genuinely think it's the most me song. So I don't think that I have a really hard time with is actually knowing exactly how I want to sound. Like, I feel I've tried a few different things. It's all kind of similar, but I just like so much music. I just want to like make loads of random stuff and just like have fun with it. But this is like, I just made this and I'm like, oh, this is like how I actually want to sound. So I think, sonically it's like slightly different and just like exactly how I want it to be. And I had such a good time working with the producer that I made it with, who's called Johnny Parry. He's like sick. And it just like came together so quickly as well. It was like one day and it was pretty much done. And I think, sonically it's just exactly how I want to sound, like the speaky, talky thing. It's made me want to do that more, which I have done since. I've got like some more songs coming out which are more that like world as well. I'm very, very excited for that to be out.
It feels like it really, and the verses specifically, it feels really like inside your brain. So I'm really happy to hear
I'm glad.
that like, it sounds like how your brain almost sounds to you as well.
Yeah, totally. That is exactly how I feel.
It really feels like, I mean, from what, obviously it'll be out by the time this is episode up, but from what we've seen right now, like, it feels like it's really like vulnerable, even though it's not necessarily like a ballad. Like, it feels like that's
totally.
That's a good one.
Oh, thanks guys. That's so nice.
And it's really like nice that you have the space where you feel like you can kind of trial out different sounds and kind of land on one and be like, this is how I feel right now. Quite is well fitting, because we wanted to ask you about like artistic freedom and like what does that feel like or sound like for you right now? I mean, I guess it sounds like this song, but how does that feel?
Well, I think it's just being able to work with lots of different people and try out lots of different sounds. I think it's really hard because I'm like released independently and always have. Like, I'm not, it's a big segue, but which I won't go into, but I'm very much like, I think being independent is better in the way that the music industry is now. And I think that plays a big part of it. Like, I think if I was like signed to a label, it would be, oh, you can't just release different sounding songs one after the other. Like, you've got to like decide it first. Decide it beforehand. And I think that is a really positive thing. If you're an independent artist, you are allowed to, because there's literally no rules. Like, no one's telling you what to do. And yeah, I think being able to work with different producers who like make different sounds is a really positive thing, which again is really hard. I think if you're an independent artist, finding people to work with, and then obviously money comes into it if you want to work with certain producers. But I think that's the main thing of, one, not having anyone telling you like what you have to sound like or what you have to release, and you know, whatever, all that kind of stuff. But then also being able to like work with different people and just like try things, I think, and with no pressure. And you can go into a session and it doesn't matter if you come out and you don't like the song because it was like a fun day or whatever, and like there's no one there like putting the pressure on you if you have to write a really good song. It's just, you have the freedom to just like try things, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to end up saying this wrong, even though it's not a hard word to say. I'm just like hyped up in my head. What are you most unapologetically obsessed with in your own work right now?
Oh my God, that's a hard question.
It was hard to say as well.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think I'm pleased with my TikTok content right now, because I'm just, for this song, I just like really believe in it. So I'm like posting like more than I've ever posted before, which I feel like maybe is annoying for some people, but I just like don't care. Like I'm like, I really want this song to do well, so I'm just like posting like constantly. Like I basically, before, because you like can put like the sound on TikTok before it comes out, so that's been up for a little while. But before I'd even finished like the final mix of the song, I just uploaded like a demo version of it, and basically like no one had made a video using that sound. It was only me, and I look back on it and I'd made 150 TikToks in like 3 weeks, because I just like went like every day I'd just like wake up and just do random stuff with it. And I'm just like, this is the first time I'm like, I'm committing to this like as hard as I can. So I think maybe that, and then the fact that I just like definitely feel like I'm at a point where like I just like don't care if like it looks cringe or like people like think it's too much. Just like, you've got, like we were saying before, like if it's your stuff, you've got to give it its best chance. So I think that probably.
Yeah, it's just like supporting yourself and being your own like #1 fan.
Exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
We have it with Josie Man. Like this is like complimentary.
Yeah.
You go onto TikTok and you know she's uploaded something with her own sound right now.
It's
and
amazing.
In my head all the time
It's
now.
so
like,
good.
It works.
I know it does. I actually like, again, going back to like the like finding people inspiring thing, like she like inspires me with her TikTok content because like she is so clever with it. She will use her sound but like post a TikTok nothing to do with it, of like something that like people will really interact with. Like I can't remember the one that she did quite a few of those ones which is like, I'm bored, tell me about this.
We
and
were
it goes
just
crazy.
About this yesterday, because Nadia is doing a similar thing right now for their EP.
Oh, sick.
And it's just the
and
amount of engagement
so well.
is insane.
I know.
It's so good.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, yeah, I'll have to check that out because I didn't realise Nadia was doing it as well. But it's just, every time I've seen Josie do it, I'm like, iconic. Like, you are so smart.
And it
like,
sticks in your head. Like, I had a moment where I was like, I want to make a TikTok about this. And I was like, what should I put the sound on? And I was like,
yeah,
I know exactly what sound because she's brainwashed me. Totally. And I'm like thinking girly thought, need to put girly song on.
100%.
But Josie's so good as well because obviously she is independent. I think the way that she maneuvers her releases is really interesting and really nice to see because she is very open about it. Like I love the way she's like, I don't know when it will come out yet. But it will come out at some point and I'm like, it's
to the point where like I think about the last season of Big Brother and think about her song. The amount of things that she was writing about like Chris and JoJo to that song, and I'm like, why is that all swirling in my head?
But it's great. It works. If it's in your head, it works. Like however you do it, like just get it in people's heads. But no, she's actually great.
Yours does do that for me as well. Like, I love the little phone snatched ones. And like you know where it's like you doing something and then it zooms in. Like I love it. Like and that feels like a very similar thing. Like where I can picture those TikToks to that song.
Thank you. I'm glad.
I think while it might seem like you're making loads of content for it, it doesn't actually for a consumer, like as someone who like is getting it on my For You page. Like, it doesn't feel overdone. Like it feels like it's like appropriately done.
Yeah, totally.
And I think it's working well.
Especially because with TikTok, it's not like Instagram where it's kind of mainly all the people you follow with the suggested thing. It's like if it's just your For You page, like you'll see one, and maybe in a few weeks you'll see another one, and you'll think back. You might see a couple in one day. Like there's no
exactly.
real,
It's all right.
pattern.
Yeah, because people scroll through stuff so quick. Like it's
you
fine.
consume so much that like you might think, oh, I've just uploaded 3 in an hour. Everyone's going to see that.
Yeah,
1, 2,
but they
3.
just won't. They'll only see the one that like does in theory really well, and then it's
Yeah.
fine because it's done well. Like it's worth the spam if like one random one like does well. Do you know
That's
what I mean?
your Peppa Pig.
Oh my god!
Peppa Pig.
I'm just so fuming about this actually, and it's happened on 2 occasions.
And Liz is like in a very similar boat where like her TikTok creation is like insane.
Love
and it's
that.
just like make as much as you can.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
how you've gotta
necessarily
be.
podcast related.
Yeah.
When Mummy Pig got pregnant,
Yeah.
I made a TikTok about it, and it got like 200,000 views, and I was like,
Sick.
cool, thanks, Mummy Pig. Mummy Pig then gave birth. I made another TikTok, and it got 7.2 million views. We gained 3,000 followers.
Like people are following us from Mummy Pig.
That is
Like,
incredible.
And it got 1 million likes and stuff, and I was like, thanks, Mummy Pig.
Oh
like
my God.
again.
What was it? I feel like I might have seen it. What
Genuinely, it was me walking
To work.
to work, and it was like an old clip as well. It was about 7 seconds with the Peppa Pig theme song, just basically being like, so apparently, like, because you texted me being like, Mummy Pig's given birth, so I was like, so apparently Mummy Pig's given birth, like, literally fair enough. Where is the baby's name gonna fit in the song? And that was it.
That's amazing.
And she became like the voice of reason for Mummy Pig, but like not once but twice.
I know.
Like
and
it's
like,
insane.
That's
the pig was
brilliant.
called Evie as well.
Yeah.
The amount of Evies that commented on it, being like,
Oh
I
my
share a name with
God.
this pig, and I was like, okay.
That is so good.
But it is true. It's like whatever it is that gets people to the page,
It gets them there.
Gets them
Yeah.
there.
Exactly,
And it's like that is
yeah,
crazy
yeah.
to me that like those people followed you because of that.
Yeah,
pig.
totally.
It's like, it
They're
just
following you. That's
works.
fine. Like that's
No.
great. Like that's
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah, and it's like if
it's
people are
worth
like
it.
seeing your song on the For You page, and then they're seeing it again in a couple of days' time, like they're still hearing it.
Exactly.
And, like, I can hear it in my head right now. So it's like
Totally.
it works.
100%.
And I watch it in full every time as well. Like not even because I like you as a person, but I get it, and I'm like I know exactly what's going to happen. I know exactly the best, and I'm like I'm gonna wait till this finishes, and then I'm
That's
gonna
so
scroll. So it does its job.
Okay, we're going to go into the agony aunt section.
Okay.
So this is 2 submitted dilemmas from your listeners.
Oh, sick. That's good. I was worried to know.
Every time people are like, I'm worried no one's going to give it, and we really need to give people, like every time I say this, we need to give you the heads up that like it's okay, people have submitted. Like here's your like it's okay.
Yeah, nice.
Right, I have
Okay.
handwritten these, so I'm
Love
really
that.
scared that I can't read my own handwriting, but we're just going to go for it. Okay, number 1. My best friends do not like my boyfriend. He's lovely, but they never invite him out when they invite me. So they are making it very clear. He's picked up on it too, which is upsetting.
Oh my God, that's quite sad.
It was like funny and
I
then
can't
sad.
believe-
And
Yeah, I was
it was like that's really funny, and then it was like oh,
like,
it's like that video of Jake Shane and Ed Sheeran, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like no more
Yeah,
context
literally.
needed.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, that's quite deep. I mean, I feel like it's hard without the context, with a lot of contect.
That has he done anything?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I
Yeah.
feel like if he hasn't done anything and he genuinely is nice, like, then that's a bit out of order. And like that, you know, they need to stop doing that. I feel like I feel like without knowing any of the context, I would say just like literally just ask them,
Yeah.
like just like have a like be like them. I can tell you don't like my boyfriend. Like, why not? Do you know what I mean? I think if you genuinely don't know, like, just ask. Like, because I guess like if you're going to fall out anyway over them not liking him, you might as well try and salvage something. And if you fall out from the salvaging, then fine, you've tried your best. But I would just ask. I think
it's really difficult as well because it kind of depends what like the plans are. Because if I was doing like girls' night and then a boyfriend just shows up and it was
that's
like,
weird.
There was no, we just invited you because you're our friend. Like, no one's bringing +1s. It was just we're going on a night out.
Weird. Yeah,
you've shown up to the prees. I'm not assuming this is what you've done at all, but like showing up to the prees and like our man's here, then there would be a bit more like
because you still need your girl time.
Yeah.
Like, you need, but if it's like the other boyfriends are there, like that's really bad.
I'm
right?
kind of like, I don't know if this is like just a signifier of me being single for too long, but I never think to invite my friends' boyfriends anywhere. Like, I don't know if this is like a good thing to say or a bad thing to say in this scenario, but like I never think to be like, oh, you can bring this person along, because a lot of the time, like, unless it's like a big like party or something, I'm normally like, yeah, bring your boyfriends.
Yeah.
But like, a lot of the time I just don't think about it because it's like
it's just like dinner or something.
Yeah,
like
totally.
why? Like I want to see you. Like even sometimes I feel a bit
Exactly.
awkward like inviting a Liz somewhere because I'm like if my friend wanted to catch up with me, do you really want a Liz there as well? Like not even in like they don't like a Liz, but more like
just not like
do
necessary
we
to the plot.
No,
do we need to
totally.
have one-on-one like bonding time right now?
Yeah, and
What
it
do
might
you
literally
think?
be that like if this person just asks, they go, oh yeah, I never think of it. Like sorry, and then changes. Do you know what I mean? I think it's always better to just like ask.
Yeah, but there might be something in which the communication will help. But
I guess if you've both picked up on something, then that maybe is difficult.
And I guess it depends also how often you see your friends because I don't see my friends that often.
And if it's like local or not, or there's a lot of context missing there. But I feel like we've done a good job with the context.
So good luck.
Yeah,
it's not really anything.
We were just like try something.
Yeah, talk to your friends. Ask your friend why. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm 18 and all I want is to be a singer-songwriter. I've told my family and they are not supportive at all. They think I should go to uni after my gap year. What should I do?
Wow, that's a great question. Wow. I mean, I think I would say like still go to uni. I don't know if you guys would as well. I think I'd say you can do both. Like you don't have to like in theory stuff does not happen like really really quick. So I would say probably go to uni and also try and be a musician because I think it's understandable a parent not being supportive because it is like a massive gamble like and it's such a hard industry. So I definitely I'd almost like if I was a parent I would maybe feel similar even like being in the industry. But I think I would say if you can like afford to and you want to like still go to uni and just do it as well because like especially like first year of uni like I don't know if you guys feel the same but like I had so much free time like it was easy to like balance it or even do like a music degree or something that like relates to it but because I think it is a good thing to have like a backup plan because music is really hard like it's not just like if I decide to be a musician I definitely will be like obviously fingers crossed but I think it's good to just do both like don't let your parents discourage you totally but I think that them saying like go to uni is a positive thing as well.
And I think the fact that you've got a gap year like you never really know what's going to happen in that gap
That's
year.
so true.
If you really like use that as your I'm going to grind for the year, see what happens. You might find yourself in a position where at the end of that year you can say to your parents like, look at what I've done.
Exactly.
You know, like Tyler, like the female Tyler.
Who
was Tyler and
I thought you meant and the creator.
Same. Every time we say Tyler for Tyler the creator, they always think we mean Tyler with an A.
Oh my God, I absolutely would never think that. I immediately would think and the creator.
Right now I mean Tyler with an A. I'm pretty sure she said to her parents like, give me a year.
Really?
I'll give up after the year.
Wow.
And then water just like blew up and like that was during that 1 year.
That's crazy.
So like it really can make a difference if you just like have that mindset of I'm going to do it up until that point. We'll just see. Like uni will be waiting for you at the end of that.
So true, yeah.
You might get into a really good position where your parents will be like, you know what,
fair
we
enough.
trust you with this now.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you can always accept your place at uni defer if you need to.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's fine.
100%.
I also think that if it came to it and you needed to go to uni or get a job alongside it, I think like we're very passionate in like removing any shame of that. And I think if I'm assuming, I don't know why I just looked as if I could read it. I'm assuming that you're quite young, if 18, then like I don't want to like be patronizing, but also like I didn't realize until I started befriending artists how many artists had jobs and were uni students. Like even like 4 hands up, like sometimes like we'd have a guest come in and they'd be like, yeah, I just came from uni, and I'd be like, you were in class this morning, like I didn't consider it. And it's like we have jobs, like I'm like studying all through this, and it's like I think you forget or you just don't realise because people don't show that. Like it's not particularly rock star to be like, here's me at my part-time job. But
exactly. Everyone has one. Like every small artist has a part-time job.
You'd be surprised at like some of the artists that have jobs.
And it's like nothing to do with like they're going to create stuff. My job's nothing to like. It's not a creative job.
But everyone like every single like small artist or like anyone in that industry like has another job. Like you actually have to like you don't make money for like so long, you know.
And it's like fine to just do both. I mean, I worked at Urban Outfitters as well, and I hated that job, but it gave me money to stay in London.
Exactly.
It's like you just
and people kind of. For the most part, people kind of won't even realise that you're like a student. Like when we started this, we would like go to events and like we were like undergrads. Like we were like students.
Yeah.
And like no one even ever questioned it. Like we were like young and students and like no one really noticed us.
Yeah,
who you
exactly.
are. So
No,
I think
totally.
that's not going to be detrimental. Like, yeah, sure, the time element, but like you said, you kind of have more time than you realise when you're an undergrad.
100%.
Right now I have like 3 part-time jobs and I'm doing a full-time PhD and the podcast. So it's like there are ways to balance it. Like,
100%.
And also, like, if you're going to go to uni and you want to be a songwriter, you're probably going to have like a lot of lived experience to write
so
about.
true. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Obviously you can just take time out and find inspiration elsewhere, but you know, like, Freshers Week, you'll probably get a song out of that.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, the first person you like get with and then they ghost
That's a
you,
song.
that's something else as well.
Yeah.
Like, you get a
Totally.
lot of inspiration from being there.
100%. Yeah, I feel like we've given some good advice there.
Yeah.
Like I think if you can, like, still go to uni and like live your life, but just do both. Like,
Yeah.
but I think if a parent's trying to discourage you from doing it like full stop, then like, you know, ignore that. I think, you know, but
still
you know.
follow your dreams.
Yeah,
but
exactly. But
with like a safety blanket around
yeah,
you.
exactly. Yeah. And also,
absolutely.
it'll be fun as well. Like, uni is fun.
Yeah.
Like, you will, if you feel like you'll enjoy it, then go for it.
I think
do
an
both.
undergrad is so fun.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, I don't know if that's like a like nerd thing to say.
I think
But
it's really
like,
fun.
sometimes I'm like, guys, like, it's fun. Like, it's 3 years of like learning who you are, learning your
Totally.
like learning style, your working style, like balancing lives, like being an adult.
And like half of ours was ruined by COVID and we still
Yeah,
feel
same.
that. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
if you
yeah,
can have
yeah.
a full like normal uni experience,
Yeah.
so, like,
Then
why
do
not?
it. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you just get money from the government to do it.
Literally. And that's the other thing. I think, like, if you're not from London and you really want to pursue music, like, unfortunately it shouldn't be like this, but London is like the hub of it.
Yeah.
And if you can go to a London uni and like get the money from the government to do that, like,
Yeah.
that is a really positive thing. If you're studying something random that you still enjoy, but you're living in London, like, that
Yeah.
is actually helping your music career, as much as it shouldn't be,
Yeah.
but that is the case currently. Like, that is a really positive thing. Like, if you can get to London, because it's just like the hub of music, you know what I mean?
Okay, so when this comes out, we're only like a couple of weeks away from Truck Festival.
Yeah.
And you're taking over the tap room, is that
The tap room stage, yeah.
So what can people expect from that?
Well, I'm actually like so excited for that.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to Truck?
Potentially.
Hopefully. Okay, sick. I hope you see that. You definitely come along. I think it's gonna be really fun. Basically, I honestly like was shocked when they gave it to us. Like, they were like, basically, there's a lovely woman called Jasmine who works at the festival. She got in touch because I'm basically playing on the Sunday, just like my own set. And I think she had like seen my bio on like the website, and it said like Loud London. Then I also run like a club night called I can swear right?
Yeah.
Called the Cunty School Disco. Basically, she emailed, she's like, oh, I saw you run these 2 things. Like, would you want to do like a pop up? And then basically, the tap room stage was free, like 2 till 9 o'clock in the evening. And she was like, oh, you know, have it and split it up how you want. So we're doing half of it is Loud London from like 2 till 4:30, then 4:30 till 9, I think roughly, is like the school disco. And so for the Loud London one, there's basically 4 amazing artists performing who are all in Loud London, and they're performing acoustic sets, which I'm really excited for. I don't actually know like if it would have announced them by now, so I won't say them.
People can go and look.
Yeah, go and look.
Out.
Yeah, exactly. So they're all doing a 25-minute acoustic set, and then we're also doing a like panel talk, which is about like being an independent artist, because all the performers are either independent now or have been independent, so like can talk about it. So I'm really excited for that, which would be like, so it'll just be like this, like just chatting about it, which I'm really excited for. And then from 4:30 till 9 is the school disco, and that's basically just like me and then like 4 other DJs just like DJing for that whole time, just like having fun.
That's
It'll be
gonna
like
go down so well at Truck.
I hope
like,
so. I'm really
like
excited.
A dream combo for that festival.
Oh, I'm glad. But yeah, that's basically the plan for it. But yeah, I'm quite nervous because like they've been so nice and just been like, you go for it, do whatever you want to do. And I'm like, oh my god, I know. Like, I was like, I don't know how to do this. Like, so it's we're gonna just see how it goes. But I'm very excited. Like, I think it's gonna be, and I've heard so many good things about Truck. Like, I'm so excited to go. And yeah, I think it's gonna be an intense day, but I'm very excited.
Well, now that we've put in the measures in place that you can stop, breathe, and take in how proud you can be of yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that's going to be the true test.
Yeah, that is very true.
We're going to be like, if we're not there, we're going to be texting like, make sure
are you proud?
take a
Yeah,
step back.
yeah.
No, I hope we are there to like keep you company.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
What is the essential ingredient for one of your hosted nights?
Oh my god, is that like the club night ones?
Yeah.
Or just like any.
Yes, either, but yeah, the
either.
club night.
So like for the club night that I run, my main thing, I guess this kind of applies to Loud London really, but the main thing for club night is like I actually want people to like have fun without fear of being cringe. Do you know what I mean? Basically, like the music like is kind of cringe because it's like 2000s like pop bangers. Do you know what I mean? Which like some people like proper like clubbers would be like, oh, it's not drum and bass. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's like, oh, just like have fun and like sing like cheesy pop songs. Yeah. That's like my main thing of like, just like doesn't matter if you look cringe or like dance cringe or whatever. Like just it's a nice like space you can just like literally have fun and like sing cheesy songs. And I guess Loud London's kind of the same in terms of like just like have fun and like make friends, and it's not about being cool or whatever. It's just about, you know, enjoying yourself and everything. So I think that is probably like the message that I try and like come across, like what's the phrase, like put across the most. But yeah, I guess like probably that, just like have fun and like don't worry about being cringe. It's like it's a cringe free like night. Do you know what I mean?
We haven't had the honour of going to one of your disco nights yet, but we're like gagging for it because every time we go out drinking, we're like, I just want to go somewhere where I can like dance and like sing and like listen to the music that like I want to listen to. Like
exactly.
For my birthday, we went to our like local pub, and Liz texted them and was like, can we like play our own playlist? And they were like, yeah. And oh my god, it was the best night
they let you
ever because they just let us like put Elizabeth's Spotify. She went behind the bar, put her Spotify.
That's so good.
And oh my god, it's like so much nicer when it's like actually a nice music.
Yeah, totally, and like fun music.
Yeah, rather than like just going and like listening to just like God knows what.
Yeah, totally.
Every time a song came on, we'd be like, oh, I love that one.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's me.
Yeah. They like turn to me and be like, this is such a you song, and I'm like, well, yeah,
it's on your
best friend made the playlist.
That's so good.
I should hope so. And I'm so like. For like everything you say, I'm so excited. Like I'm so excited for your Chuck takeover because I really like trust your judgment.
Oh, thank you.
Who you're going to put on the stage. And in an ideal world, if you could have a 3-day festival, who would your headliners be? Like think like Primavera, like what is it, Charlie, Sabrina Chapel, like Powerpuff Girls. Like who would your like 3 be?
Oh my god, I think it would be Charlie. I've been like a Charlie fan since I was like genuinely like 14. Like I'm like such an OG fan. Yeah. It would definitely be her, and it literally would have always been her since I was like a teenager. Yeah. So yeah, Charlie would definitely be one. I think I would put Lily Allen as one because I love her music, but she like hasn't performed in a while. Yeah. So like I feel like imagine like if it was like Lily Allen's comeback was a headline at your festival. It'd be iconic. Yeah, exactly. So maybe that, and then the third one. I mean, I think this is regardless of what. Anyone's opinions on the lead singer, but it would be the 1975. Yeah. I just like I love their music. Thank you. Yeah, I love them so much. Like they are like definitely that's probably like my top 3 artists, and I think probably like the 1975 is like one of my biggest like actual like sonic inspirations. Like, I absolutely love their music so much. I think that probably those 3. I feel like that would be a pretty.
Do you know what day they would each be?
Ooh, that's maybe Charlie, then no, actually I think I'd do Lily Allen first. Yeah. Charlie at CX, then the 1975.
I was thinking that same
really. Okay, so I think that feels right.
Yeah,
that feels
absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we always like to end an interview with setting some goals for the future. So what would a dream live set look like for you? The visuals, the feeling, and any covers that you'd like to include on the set list?
Oh my god, sick! That's so fun. Like as in like my set, right? Okay. I
imagine like no Charlie.
I don't have the answers.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I think I would like just have like everything as like chaotic as possible, like crazy lighting and crazy like backdrop and like flashing lights. Like the new like Charlie's like new set. It's like I love like how crazy the flashing lights and everything. Yeah, I think just like chaotic. I think cover wise, I'm actually working on a new live set at the moment, and I've added that song. Do you know that song Hello? Like that was like big, not Adele, that one by Martin Solveig. It's like I feel like I'm gonna have to sing it. It's like you'll know it. It's that one that goes like I just came to say hello. That one.
Yeah.
I just like so I added that in because that's like one of my like favorite songs. And that I just want like fun songs that people go like, oh, I kind of know this, and the chorus comes like, oh, it's that song. So I think that I'm really excited to add that in. So that I think I would count that. And yeah, I think I really want to like work on sort of like making the stage look cool and having like cool props. Like I love when people have like really specific to them like backdrops. Like, I don't know what I'd put yet, but just like interesting weird things on the stage or like things hanging down. Just like make it as weird as possible, I think. Chaotic, I think would be the word I'd want.
And then finally, which artists would you like to nominate for tuning in?
Oh my God, that's fun. Wow. How many should I nominate? Of like who I think should come on, right?
One or two.
Oh my God, that's a hard one. Tapwater Lucy. I love her. She's like, I absolutely love her. I think she would be great as well. She's like so naturally funny. I think she would be great. I love her so much. And I love her music. Yeah. Shout out Tapwater Lucy.
Have you seen that? What is it, Nardwar and Timothy, where he's like, shout out, like, like I don't even know what it is. Shout out Bob Dylan, like, like, that's the aura. Like, this is the point of the interview. Like, when you start quoting Timothy Chalamet, it's time to go. Oh, but thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's been such an honour. Like, no, honestly, I've followed you guys for ages, and I'm thank you for letting me on.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Goodbye.